Our next question comes from a listener in Westhoff, Texas. She writes, if Satan was created by God and was his highest creation, where did Satan get his power for evil?
Well, may I say to you, you've asked a question that it's very difficult really to answer it, since there is no ready answer to where he got the power for evil, because you would have to define what evil really is. And I want now to turn to the Scripture, which will give to us the origin of Satan, and therefore, actually, it's the origin of evil as far as we know. That Scripture is found in the 14th chapter of the prophecy of Isaiah. This tells the fall of Satan. This was the origin of evil. You know, there's certain things that are evil innately. Actually, today, there are certain sins that are just, they're unspeakable. Then there are things that are evil because God says that they are evil. So when you talk about the origin of evil, here is the one who opened Pandora's box and let sin enter into the world. And what is sin and evil? What is it? Well, you have the creation of this being in the 28th chapter of Ezekiel. Now, I'm not concerned about that today, but the 14th chapter of Isaiah tells about his fall, and I'm turning now to that, reading Isaiah 14 at verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Now notice what he did. For thou hast said in thine heart. Now this is apparently where the sin originated, is in his heart. I will ascend into heaven. That is the first I will. The second, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Third, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Fourth, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. And fifth, I will be like the Most High. Now, here is a creature that is actually dreamed up a plot and a plan to overthrow God and to take his place. This creature, he was the sum total of wisdom, we're told. He was perfect in beauty, and no creature like him. He was far superior to any of God's angels or any of God's creations, and so he felt that he could set his will against the will of God. And you say, that sounds preposterous. You mean to tell me that a creation of God thought that he could overcome God? Yes. And if you look around you today, you'll see many men and women that are setting their will over against the will of God. Now that's what sin is to set your will over against the will of God. And how many men and women are living today self-sufficient lives? They don't need God. He gets in their way, and they would like to get rid of him entirely if they could. You're dealing here, your question's dealing with one of the greatest theological problems that we have today, is the origin of evil, and you just can't answer it completely and entirely on the question and answer program in just a few moments. There are books written on this subject, and so your question is, where did Satan get the power for evil? Well, he was created with the power, but it was when he said in his heart, I will be like the Most High. Now, that seems strange. Don't we want to be like God? Yes, this creature wanted to be like God, so much so he wanted to displace him, take his place. I'm going to exalt my throne above the stars of God, above God's entire creation. And there are men today, little puny, pygmy men, and they make the statement that what they are going to do, I will do this, and it's contrary to the will of God. They don't mind saying it and trying to do it, and that is the innate evil, by the way. And that's the best that I can do in answering your question, to tell the truth, because you're dealing with one of the greatest problems, is the problem of evil.